What is going on, everybody, and welcome on into episode 274 of the Garage Beers podcast, brought to you proudly here on the OBR streaming network. Get over to the OBR.com. Make sure you're tuned in and subscribed over there, and make sure you are either hitting subscribe, follow, like, all that stuff on wherever you're watching us, whether it's the social channels or whether it's YouTube or Twitch. The OBR is the oldest, largest independent Cleveland Browns site in all of Cleveland. And right now it is ramped up to full speed ahead. It's training camp time, and nobody covers the Cleveland Browns like the OBR. So make sure you're tuned into everything OBR. And while you're doing all that, make sure you get over to the Garage Beers and hit follow on all the socials so you can keep up with us between our episodes and throughout the week with everything that we've got going on. It is a great show, a ton of stuff for us to get to tonight. And so we're glad you're here. We're glad you're joining us live. And if for some reason you couldn't join us live, we're glad you're tuned in either on Apple or Spotify or watching us later on YouTube or Twitch or wherever you're taking us in. We appreciate you being here. With you, as always, I'm your host, Michael Keefe at Garage Beers. Mike, and joining me are my two co-hosts, finally back together. The boys are back together in the garage tonight. First, over on the east side of Cleveland on this beautiful night, it's Chad Meyer at Garage Beers. Chad, what's up, Chad?
Got into a little back and forth with the wife about getting kicked in the nuts and childbirth today.
You're never going to win that argument.
Here's the thing. By no means was I trying to say that childbirth was any less painful than getting kicked in the nuts. My point was, I think she's severely underestimating how bad it hurts to get kicked in the nuts. The way she was talking, but because let me tell you this, Mike, my kids always like to mess around and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna kick you in the nuts, Dad. I'm gonna punch you in the nuts, Dad." Yeah, right. And then that spawned this conversation of oh, it doesn't hurt that bad. Like she was acting like it's just I don't know, just flicking you in your hand or something.
Yeah,
like it's just like a tiny pinch. Like no. But she took that as I'm trying to say it hurts worse than childbirth. No, that's not what I'm saying. Any person who pushes another human out their no parts are it's you're tough. You're super tough. But don't underestimate how bad it hurts to get kicked in the nuts, lady.
I mean, I do know you well enough that you probably did make a comment that you weren't trying to make.
Probably.
Because I'm I don't know. These two things don't have to go together. They can just be getting punched or getting hit in the nuts sucks, but we don't have to talk about childbirth. They don't go together. It's not
exactly.
She just conversation.
Yeah, she just automatically assumed I was stop it. It is nowhere near childbirth. No, I'm not saying that at all. but what you're doing is trying to tell me but what you're doing is trying to tell me that getting kicked in the nuts doesn't hurt at all, which is not the case.
No, and frankly, the whole beginning of this conversation feels like a kick in the nuts.
Yeah.
Also joining us back in the garage after a couple busy weeks out in Seattle, Washington. Find him online at Garage Beers Joe. It's Joey Whalen. Joe, welcome back.
What's up, boys?
What's going on, man?
I don't know. I had some things going on, as always.
Oh, that's it.
That's what happened.
Yeah, it's no big deal.
Yeah, that's what happens. Some life things, some event things, You
just hate us. No, it's good. You just hate us, Joey. I get it.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
I tore a tendon in my toe a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
that's a fun update.
How'd you do that?
Always
roughhousing with the dog, and we both decided to step in the same location, which is not really possible with physics and just general matter makeup of things. So we put his paw down. My toes went in between his leg, and then he lifted his paw up, and then my second toe was dropped over my big toe, and I was like,
"Oh God,
that's not where it's supposed to be." So I did a little reach and kind of maneuvering, and it's back in place. All the piggies are in their homes. Maybe some tendon tears in there, but we're taped up. We're here.
You're back. You're good. The toe didn't keep you out. That's called playing through pain.
Yeah,
welcome back.
I have to wear shoes in the house though, which honestly, not bad.
All right.
Feels a little wrong, but I got indoor only slides now. It was kind of fun.
Ooh, you got house shoes. You got house shoes.
I kind of like it though. It's you've given us a good theme. This conversation goes with this whole thing. To be really honest with you, goes with the theme of our episode.
Yeah,
because we got pain, we got kicked in the nuts.
Yeah,
we got. There's been a lot of that over the last week for Cleveland sports fans, and we're going to dive into all of it, boys.
So much nut kicking.
Real quick, I am playing with fire here tonight, as my wife and son are down at the Guardians game, which great game to go to. Guardians just laid the wood tonight, thank God. But that left me and my 4-year-old daughter in the house, and so we've done the like once a week melatonin, and we've done that, and she is currently sleeping. She fell asleep about 8:25, and so from then until my wife and my son get home. Now I know my wife is not staying till the end of this baseball game.
Okay.
So I'm sure they are probably on the road at this point as we speak. But I'm playing with fire, so I got to go like one head or earphone off here, just in case there's screaming happening somewhere. So if you see me like just get up and run out of the room, somebody's screaming upstairs.
Yep.
All right. Well, like I said, great episode coming up. Again, a lot of bad stuff has happened in Cleveland sports this week. Some good, mostly bad. A little bit of good, mostly bad. And so we're going to dive into all of it, and we'll talk about it all. But this episode especially cannot go on without us getting into our garage beers of the week, because for some of the topics we got to talk about tonight, the beers are necessary. So, boys, let's do our garage beers of the week. Look, Drew and Brick City in the comments already getting things kicked off. Hey, if you're with us live here tonight, be just like Drew and Brick City. And I won't say about every aspect of life, but for certain be like Drew and Brick City, warmed up with some Busch Heavies. Now Drew's going to mix it up later, but also Drew's in the comments already. Let's get this thing active and going tonight, and we want you guys to be a part of the conversation. So shout out to Drew for being our first comment here tonight. Joe, you're back, so you get the honors. What's your beer of the week this week?
Man, I had so many good beers over the past couple weeks, and then I kept not being on the show, and then I just ended up drinking them. I can't remember if this is the same Freem beer I had on a couple weeks ago. Was that Hood River, Oregon beer?
I do remember the name of the brewery. I don't remember what it was, though.
I think I had a Red Can on, which is a different IPA.
I think so too.
They taste very similar, but they are both fantastic and delicious. And as of now, my new favorite distillery or brewery, I should say, in the PNW.
Nice.
I will say,
hold on. The PNW. You've lived there for like 7 minutes.
PNW.
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 In the PNW.
The guy who
Pinkies up when you're drinking it, Joe. Yes.
The guy, I forget his name. The guy that was on a couple weeks ago, and I missed that. Talked guards and was fantastic. He had a Fremont Brewing beer. And that's another fantastic brewery here.
Oh.
And that was the other beer I was hoping to bring today.
Brewing beer.
But I made bratwurst last night, and I simmered them in some beer, and they're quite delicious.
Yummy.
Oh, that was Jordan. That was Jordan Zerm. That's
Jordan.
Jordan.
That was Jordan.
Yeah.
All right. So Joe, his favorite in the PNW. He's got that going tonight. Chad, what are you drinking tonight?
Well, it's certainly no PMW, but no new beers bought this week, boys, because I'm going on vacation Thursday. So I got Noble Beast in the fridge. It's the Vienna Lager. It's the Amber Lager beer. Yeah. Und it is the delicious brew from the Noble Beast, and I shall enjoy them, and I might drink 2 to 6 of them tonight, given how this week has gone for Cleveland sports. It's so gross. It's so gross.
Chad, if you miss next week because of vacation, I'm going to have to really call into question your commitment to the show.
Wow.
Of all the people.
That's real rich coming from you, Waylon.
No, but Joe and I were talking before you jumped in, Chad, and I will tell you, and get ready for this, everybody, because we all know how it's going to go, even if Chad doesn't admit it yet. This is one of my very favorite weeks of every year coming up, and we've done this, we've done this 5 years, plus we're over 5 years into this. Chad's vacation week is one of my favorite weeks that we do on this entire show because Chad can't be here for the episode, but Chad also can't just miss an episode. Like
No.
Chad, of all the three of us, Chad's the guy that like cannot miss an episode.
No, I feel terrible if I do.
So Chad tells us for like weeks, like, all right, remember, boys, I'm not going to be on that week. Remember, boys, I'm not going to be on that week. And then we get on, and I guarantee you next week, and I'm so excited for it. Chad's going up to Maine. Chad is, I don't know if you're going to be in Maine at that point. I don't know what you're doing. Wherever you're going to be,
should be there.
Chad will have been drinking all day long.
Yeah.
And Chad is going to join. He's going to call in on his phone, like just his phone camera.
Right.
He's going to be hammered drunk.
Uh-huh.
And he's going to just dive into some rant that he has. And it's literally like the best 10 minutes of the show all year. So I'm very excited for it.
Yeah. I mean, really, because really what happens is I pretend like this is going to be some like party all night long vacation, but really the kids are going to fall asleep. Then the wife's going to be like, oh, I'm going to bed. Okay, I'm fine. Then I'm going to be sitting there at like 9:30, 9:40, still buzzed. Like, what the hell am I going to do now? I might as well go on the show.
Yes.
That's what happens every time. All right, so it may or may not happen. But most likely will.
We'll definitely see you next week. All right, that brings it around to me. I do see in the comments, Gregory has jumped in, our old buddy Gregory, drinking a St. Pauli girl and some Jameson tonight. That's shout out to you, Greg.
Wow.
Mix it up, man. Mix it up, man.
Let's go.
Greg and Drew are having like a real nice conversation, catching up in the comments. I like that. I like what they got going on there. That's going to bring it over to me. And every once in a while, I find myself going all over the place. I had a Miami beer last week, and I try to get beers from all over the place, but every once in a while I got to bring it home. And this is a place I haven't been yet, and it kind of pisses me off. But I brought it back to Lorain County. I got to shoot a little Lorain County love out here, especially because it's been a tough week in Lorain County. And so we're going to do a little Lorain County love because this can is really cool, and I've heard nothing but great things about this brewery, but I've never had their beer. This is Ghost Tree Brewing. Out here in like Elyria, Lorain, like this area out here. Look at the can. It's cool. It's like a tiki can. This is called the Aloha Ohio, and it is a Midwest style IPA.
Oh, fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Really good. I don't even know.
What's a Midwest style IPA?
Have you had the Great Lakes Midwest IPA? To be honest with you, I got to read more about it. I don't really know. It's kind of I would say
Coasty.
I would say a little bit more like a West Coast, but like not as hoppy.
Yeah.
Like the real easy drinking. I guess that makes sense for Midwest. Like easy going, easy drinking. I've already had some of it. It's delicious. It looks hazy, but it's not. It doesn't taste that way. It's really good. It's like a good mix of both kinds of IPAs.
All right.
And this one's really good. So Ghost Tree making its first appearance here with us on the Garage Beers podcast. Those are our Garage Beers of the week. You've already seen some of yours in the comments. If you're joining us, having some drinks with us tonight, throw your beer up in the comments. Let us know what you're drinking, and we'll flash it up there. But now it's time for us to get in to episode 274 of the Garage Beers podcast. And, let's start with the big story. Again, we're going to get, just so you know, the agenda for tonight. We got Browns stuff to cover, a lot of news out of Browns training camp. So actually, it's going to be kind of nice. There's stuff that is just other than wild speculation to talk about with the Browns for the first time in a while. So that's really nice, except for some of the stuff that has happened in camp. That's not so nice. We're going to get to the Browns in a little bit. We are going to get to some other big things that have happened just kind of around the sports world. But we're going to start with the biggest news in all of Cleveland from this past week. And the biggest news from all of Cleveland is that the Cleveland Guardians have seen the level of dysfunction that the Cleveland Browns have put on for 25 years, and apparently they got jealous. And apparently the Cleveland Guardians now have said, we want some of that. And so after a really exciting time of the year, after the Guardians have played their best baseball of the entire season, and they brought themselves back from the dead after a 10-game losing streak that we all thought the season was over, it gets announced this week that Emmanuel Clase gets busted in the same damn gambling scandal that Luis Ortiz got busted in. And now, just like Luis Ortiz, and again, if you were with us with Zach Meisel last week, Zach basically called that 2 weeks ago. That's when we did that interview, that Luis Ortiz's time period is going to get pushed out. It did. So Ortiz is out until the end of August. And now Emmanuel Clase, a guy that had been, ever since May 1st, the best closer in baseball, again, is now out until the end of August, as he is getting investigated right now for the same gambling scandal. Boys. Yep.
Yeah.
Pop it open, Chad. Let's talk about this. What in the hell? What in the hell is going on with these guys playing for the Cleveland Guardians?
What is taking so long, especially with Ortiz?
That's fair.
Like what else do you have to look into?
I would guess my kind of thought on the timeline on this is that there is a connection. Like, I don't believe Ortiz and Clase are like out there on, whatever sports book placing bets on their own pitching. I think that there is some connection between them and a third party person, whether that be a family member, a friend, somebody malicious that is like encouraging them to have this specific outcome in the game. And I think the issue with the timeline on this is just the proof to tie back to the player. I think there's implications that they're involved, but potentially, and this is all speculation, but like maybe that's hard to kind of map those dots together to actually say what constitutes this person being guilty of betting in a game if they did not place the bet. And like, how do you know for sure they committed to throwing these balls when they did? Like, the burden of proof on that feels very difficult unless it's explicitly stated in some written or verbal recorded documentation. And I would like to think that they wouldn't have done that. Now, they should have done this in the first place, but like, that's got to be something in there, right?
Well, but on the league side of things, and I think you bring up a great point, Joe, and Chad, you brought up a point that I forgot to even write down, so I want to get to that in a little bit because it's been such a big part of the conversation. But, Joe, you have to think, and this goes back to your question too, Chad, you have to think that the process can't be we're going to make these guys sit out for more than a month. We're going to deprive a team from their players for more than a month just in case. Just in case we see something. And if we don't see something, they can come back at the end of August and all bygones will be bygones. Nah. Hell no. The city of Cleveland will march on the MLB offices if you come back. Like, at this point, it's like there better be something.
Yeah, I mean,
there's not, and you're just taking our players away from us just because you had a hunch. That's going to be a problem. That's going to be a big problem, and there's no way you can make it up. So as a league, you can't do that. There has to be some solid, substantial reason that they're not just saying like, "Hey, you're out for a week." They're putting these dudes off for more than a month. I mean, literally, they are punishing the entire roster, a primary starter, and now the closer for more than a month because I don't know, maybe they've got to just like piece the rest of it together, but they've got to have enough because if they don't, that's a disaster.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing I could conjure up in my head is there has to be some sort of substantial evidence, because otherwise, why would you do this? Why would you do this if you're just being investigated and you have nothing on them, or if you're just looking into guys, why take them off the team? So there has to be something very, very substantial here. And yeah, I mean, you see all the theories that, yeah, granted, we have to wait for all the facts to come out, but I mean, everything is just, you look online and people are just running wild with this. And yeah, I don't know. I want all the details to come out now. Like, I don't want to wait anymore. But I
do think it's fair. And they were two different situations for a lot of reasons. But I do think I went back and forth on this for a long time of whether this is fair or whether it's not fair or whatever it is. But like, how do you get like the Shohei Ohtani situation squared away in like 2 days? 2 days that thing was squared away. Done. And I know maybe there's a little differences. There's some differences to this situation, but Shohei Ohtani gets wrapped up in a gambling situation. And obviously they blame it on his trainer or whatever, but that 2 days that was done.
I had
no issue. 2 days that was done.
I had a thought about this today, Mike, and I'm wondering, I was wondering, hopefully we never have to find out, but I was wondering, what if this was J-Ram? I wonder how long it would take for that situation to be done. I know that's very conspiracy theory-ish, but it's kind of a fact. You see it all across all the major sports. The stars in the leagues get treated differently. They get treated very, very differently. And whether it's a money thing, a marketing thing, obviously, but the fact of the matter is, stars get a little bit are made a little bit more of a priority when something like this happens. So I wonder why. That was just a thought I had this morning. Sorry.
But that applies. That certainly, maybe not Luis Ortiz, but it's not Shohei Ohtani. But Emmanuel Clase has got a pretty bright star in Major League Baseball. We're talking about, again, the best closer in baseball for a stretch of multiple years. He's got a bright star in Major League Baseball, and they just were like, stay out until August. Let's go real quick, guys, let's assume baseball has pretty concrete evidence, which, again, if they're going to make these guys sit out for the amount of time that they are, they better have some pretty concrete evidence. So let's say that's the case, and they're looking at the numbers. Again, I know I talked about it on the video I made. It's something like Emmanuel Clase's first pitch when he first comes into a game is basically a non-competitive pitch 20% of the time, and then the rest of the time he pitches, it's only 4%. That's a weird thing. It's a weird number that you can't come out and ever throw a first pitch strike. And not only that, you're not even throwing a pitch that somebody might even think about swinging at. It's a non-competitive, throw it in the dirt type of pitch. 20%, literally 16% more than every other pitch you throw. That is a weird look. So let's say that they've got this concrete evidence. I mean, guys, talk about the ramifications of this, because I don't think I know we've been through a whole thing with Pete Rose over the years and all that, but if they can show that these guys were betting and now, or they were part of a betting scandal, and it was to the detriment of the team, because coming out and just throwing a ball pitch one, immediately detriment to the team. We could be looking at two guys with a lifetime ban.
Yeah.
It probably should be.
Maybe more than that, though, because there's more names that are going to get.
They're not going to kill him. They're not going to kill him.
No,
they're gonna hang him. They're gonna hang him. They're gonna lynch him.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it could be more, and that's the really interesting thing about the situation. And I'm curious if this is like I'd be curious too. Obviously, the Guardians and Shohei have kind of been the really relevant names that this has happened to recently. I wouldn't be surprised if this is actually happening quite profoundly in the league. Maybe not on a massive scale, but like a pitch here and there. Like, it would be so easy to do in today's world, or at least you would think as a player. Like, if I just, my June 16th outing, I'm just going to throw a ball, first pitch, third inning. That's it. I'm done. One in, one out. But the problem is that all these sportsbooks are tracking these bets, and they see like, hey, how weird is it that we had $60,000 placed on Luis Ortiz throwing a ball the first pitch of the third inning, and we didn't have a single bet like that any other point of view. Like, they see that. There's data everywhere. Like, there's no hiding in it. But I wouldn't be surprised if this is like a bigger pandemic in the league. But obviously, the stuff that we've seen from the video speculation side of these pitches, if that were the case, is pretty egregious. Those are pretty unhittable pitches that these guys are throwing.
And not in a good way. Not in a good way.
Not in a good way. So this will be interesting. I mean, this, it's tough to speculate how this impacts the team, given that there could be more people that go out on this. But you're already hurting one of the weaker areas of the Guardians team right now, and that's depth in pitching, starting pitching, back end of the bullpen if Clase's out. This is a tricky thing to recover from as a team. And if these guys are out the entire rest of the season, I think that's kind of a death sentence on postseason hopes.
Yeah. I mean, to your point, Joe, at the beginning, I mean, I think you're going to start to see this more across all major sports. I mean, this goes back to the Calvin Ridley thing. Calvin Ridley just got suspended for betting on games.
Yeah.
Right. And this is you're going to see a lot more of this. It's just a matter of who's going to get caught. That's it. That's really it. This is like college football before the NIL existed. It's just everybody's doing it. It's just a matter of who's going to get caught. And yeah, there's all sorts of ramifications, especially for a team like the Guardians, who aren't exactly people who are going to go out and fix their issues right away. Right. We talked with Jordan, Mike, a couple weeks ago. This is a team that always has one foot in the future. So we might not see a pitcher, a starting pitcher or a closer to step in right away and have the same impact as Class A did for another 3-4 years. So you could be impacting this team for at least the next 2 to 3 years, depending on who's waiting in the wings for this team. So it's huge. It is huge for this organization if these two guys are out, have any sort of ban, lifetime ban even.
Oh, absolutely. And to go to kind of a next thing that people were talking about and talking about, are you going to see this more? I do think, though, that people are maybe talking about it the wrong way. And Joe, I think you hit on it the right way. And that is, I think it's a crazy thing to just jump to, oh, well, now that sports betting is legal in all these different ways, that's causing this. The reality is this has been happening. Like, sports betting happens all the time. It's been happening. It's not, the legalization of it isn't going to change that. But you hit on it. What you're going to start seeing now is these sports betting sites are watching this stuff now in ways that baseball wasn't watching it before because they just didn't probably have to think about it all that much. But now these sports betting sites that they've got their money on the line are sitting there watching these statistics and watching these trends. And they're going, oh, man. So I don't necessarily know that the legalization of the sports betting is what's going to cause increased people to get caught as far as just like the cause of them being like, well, it's legal now, so I'm going to do it. Instead, I think it's more like these people that have been doing it are now at greater risk of getting caught because these sites are going to go to these leagues and be like, whoa, hey, look at this. I do also want to throw out, and I think this was another thing I saw yesterday. I do not think I'm going to follow again with last week's guest, Zach Meisel. He's been adamant about this. He's got a source in the league that he's gotten word on this multiple times. From the league through Zach's source, there are no more Cleveland Guardians being implicated in this betting scandal, at least unless something changes. There was a guy last night, Hector Gomez, and he got called out for it, and he should have got called out for it. We came up with like a very speculative report that was like, source, there may be other Cleveland Guardians pitchers involved in this, and it set the world on fire because it was like, who's going to be next? Again, according to Zach Meisel, through a source of his, these are the two names that got investigated by the league. These are the two names that were ever going to be investigated by the league. So we'll see. Again, we'll see if that changes. But
I thought that was
that speculation was gross.
I thought that was a stretch to begin with. I mean, that's an insider from the Dominican Republic. I mean, for all we know, it could be, someone related to Class A and saying, "Oh, no, let's take the attention off Emmanuel." Like, no, I thought that was a bit of a stretch, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but then go to your question, and I want to get Gregory because he's firing off questions in the comments. Joe, you brought this up too, but the implications for this team. Now, I don't remember who wrote the article today for The Athletic. Was it Ken Rose? It was Ken Rosenthal. So Gregory, good comment. Ken Rosenthal wrote for The Athletic. He immediately tied this to, well, now the Guardians, now look out for, immediately tied it to Stephen Kwan. I'm going to just go out on a limb and say, I don't think this has a damn thing to do with what the Guardians are going to do with Stephen Kwan. I really do believe that. I don't think that this is going to change the Guardians' approach to Stephen Kwan because of the level of control the Guardians still have over Stephen Kwan. And because this isn't the last chance to try to trade him for a good haul if you're going to trade him. You can trade him in the offseason if you're going to for a great haul. You can trade him next trade deadline for a great haul because he's still under team control. Again, he's going to have his arbitration years, but he's still going to be under team control for another couple of years. So they still have 2 more years after this. They can keep him. There's no rush to try to trade Stephen Kwan. So I think it's just, I have laughed every time. These national baseball writers are desperate to get Stephen Kwan to another team.
Yeah.
Desperate. It's John Heyman talking about, oh, we got to get Stephen Kwan to the Mets. and it's 12 dudes from LA being like, Stephen Kwan to the Dodgers, I heard it's picking up steam. None of that. All that's bullshit. I do not think, unless a team comes to the Guardians and gives them an offer that they probably even they couldn't think of, I don't think Stephen Kwan is going anywhere. I don't think he's going anywhere. I don't think this affects that. But back to Gregory's question, does it make them sellers? I guess my question to back that up, boys, is who the hell do they have to sell?
Nobody.
Yeah, they don't have
Nobody.
much to sell. That's a good point. I do agree on your take with Stephen Kwan. I don't see, unless the haul that is offered is just unreal, unpassable. It just doesn't really make sense. Like it's not really going to set us up better for next year. Like the team's pretty far off unless the current team can scrap some things together here. And so I don't think there's a couple pieces here and there that's going to like really set us up for the next couple of years here. I think, you have to start looking at building blocks with this team, and the people to do that with are cheap players on team-friendly deals and have a lot of team control with it, like a Stephen Kwan. Like that's exactly who you want to start to set some things up with around for the next couple of years. And so, you don't want to like completely say we're building this team around Stephen Kwan, but like he is a piece of the puzzle that like is probably not worth giving away right at this point. I don't know who they would sell. Bieber could be one. Maybe that could be advantageous for a team. I don't think they're going to get a ridiculous haul for it, but that's an interesting option. Class A was kind of the one we were dangling in front of teams, but that's not going to happen now.
Yeah. Everybody who they have to sell is not a major haul like Carlos Santana. You're not going to get a whole lot for him.
Right. I think it's interesting because, the Twins were really the indicator of why this question I feel like is so pressing now. Is the Twins became sellers very quickly with their trade to Detroit. Was that this week? They did that for traded a pitcher over there.
Yeah.
So, like kind of in the same boat as the Guardians. But I just don't know who they're going to get rid of. I think you could see a bullpen arm go. Maybe you could see some.
Well, the problem is some of the guys that were like tops on the sellers list. Lane Thomas hurt, not going to get anything for him. Paul Sewald hurt, not going to get anything for him. Even like Carlos Santana, not been good, not going to get much for him. What are you going to try to get something for Nolan Jones? You're probably not going to, although he had a pretty good game today.
Well, with the way Sewald was pitching this year, anyway, I don't.
You're not going to get it. What are you going to get anything for? Junis?
We should trade him straight up for Tyler Freeman. Oh. That kid's doing great this year.
Yes.
Well, yes. Especially when he plays the Guardians. Apparently, this is the year of revenge tours against the Guardians because between Ramon Laureano with the Orioles and now Tyler Freeman, Freeman's tearing up the Guardians in this series. No, and that goes back to the implications for what this whole situation has with the Cleveland Guardians and the future. I mean, I really do think that they were, unless they continued to play really hot and they felt like, all right, hey, listen, we think we're going to get Shane Bieber back. Some guys are heating up. Okay, we're going to make a run. I really do think the odds were that they were going to trade Emmanuel Clase because I think they were going to get a haul for him. And I think they're comfortable with the back end of the bullpen being Hunter Gaddis and Cade Smith and whoever else, whatever other arm they're going to throw there, that is going to be really good because that's what they do.
I'm comfortable with that.
Yeah, I think they were comfortable. So not only does this impact, we don't even know, the hard thing is we don't even know. We don't know what this is going to look like. But not only does it impact the chance of any success this year, which again, maybe you could, but it still hurts it. It also now is throwing a wrench into, you probably could have pulled, I mean, the Philadelphia Phillies are desperate for bullpen arms. You probably could have pulled 2-3 top level prospects from a team for Emmanuel Clase. You probably could have pulled one major league player and 2 top level prospects for Emmanuel Clase and gotten away with that. And now it wrecks that he's untradeable and now he's not the whole thing. Like there are implications for everything. So now the Guardians don't really have I mean, you can go ahead and sell some of these players. You're going to get random athletes back.
Outside of Quan. Outside of Quan, there's nobody that you're going to get a haul for at all.
But Quan's the only guy.
Yeah.
The only guy that everybody, well, I'll be pissed if they trade Stephen Quan.
Yeah, for sure.
At this point. He's the only guy you're pissed about. Everybody else, what are you going to trade? I don't care if you trade Santana. I don't care if you trade David Fry. I don't care if you trade Santana. I don't care if you trade. And there's none of these guys that I really give a shit that you trade. Go ahead and trade them. Right. But you're not going to get things back that are going to dramatically improve you for the future. And that's where this really hurts too. So then it feels like, here's where this boys to me feels like this is the worst part. And it's not just Cleveland, it's everywhere. This is the worst part about being a sports fan is when shit like this happens. And here's what I mean by that. The league's fine. And they'll find players and players will have to kind of make it up to the league and they'll be fine. And, the team has to deal with it, but the team will recoup some salary or they'll figure out a way. They'll be fine. It feels like when these punishments happen, the people that are getting punished are certainly the players and then the fans. It's the players and the fans that get punished because we're not going to get anything out of this. All we get is pain. There's nothing good. There's no net positive at the end out of this for Cleveland Guardians fans or for whoever the hell Calvin Ridley plays for now, for the fans of that team. There's no net positive. The fans just have to eat this shit. That's where this is the worst part. And again, I'm not blaming the league. It's you've got to punish people that are doing the wrong thing. But like, we just all have to sit here and be like, hey, all right, cool. Our team is shittier now. And there's nothing, there's no repercussion for us. Nothing good is going to come out of this for us. Nobody's going to come to us and be like, hey, sorry you guys had to go through with this. Here's something. No, there's nothing. It's just we have to just sit here and take it, and we get nothing out of it. And it's the shittiest part about being a sports fan.
Yeah. I don't know. Guardians just can't catch a break this year between this. You chased a lot of being done for the year. CJ I mean, I don't know. How do you even trust that guy's even going to play a full season no matter what level he's at right now?
Chased a lot of
Yeah.
I don't. You can't. I don't. But you know what? Put him on the major league roster and give me 2 months of healthy Chase DeLauder until he gets hurt.
Until he gets hurt.
I don't care. Why?
I know.
Why are they like, can I ask you guys a question? I want you guys to answer this. We just moved on to Chase DeLauder, and I didn't really want to do that, but fine.
Whatever.
Can you guys answer this for me? They came out after Chase DeLauder came back from an injury. They came out and said, well, we don't want to bring him up to the majors because we want to make sure he can kind of stay healthy for some time in the minors. Why? It's baseball. What do you mean he needs to stay healthy in the minors? It's not football. It's not a contact. It's not like he has to grow back into contact mode. It's not basketball even, or soccer or hockey where he's got to be worried about why? Why does he have to? Why did that make sense to anybody? That was their excuse for keeping him in the minors. Was we got to make sure he could stay healthy in the minors. Why? What is the health indicator in the minors that's going to be different in the majors? Or how does being healthy in the minors help to be healthy in the majors? How does that work? Can either of you guys explain that to me?
Team control. I don't know. That's it. I mean, they don't want to call him up for those reasons, I would imagine. He would be a no doubt everyday player if he was in the big leagues right now. And I don't want to go down that rabbit hole of call people up, but you're kind of grasping at straws with this offense here. We got Brian Rocchio back in the lineup.
He's been good though. He's been good.
No, but come on. We got some little shakeups need to be going on here. I don't know. Just call him up.
Something though. Yeah. Listen, once your team came out and demonstrated that they can compete again, why is Will Wilson still here?
He's not. He shouldn't be.
Why was he?
He's just a body.
you see these other teams doing it. And it's the other, and this is where it's like the Guardians don't have to be smarter than everybody. Look at the A's. The A's just draft guys and bring them up at this point. Look at the Pittsburgh Pirates. Well, shit, let's just bring them up because they're better than anybody. If you're going to play the small market game, which again is bullshit, but if you're going to play the game, I'd rather have you do it. I know they're not good teams, but at least they're bringing their good players up and being like, all right, hey, listen, we're going to learn on the fly here. What are we doing?
Yeah, they think it's a smart plan to keep your good players in control for as long as possible instead of trying to win World Series. That's basically what it boils down to. And Mike is never happy. But
Lord says apparently AB is also running. I like AB. I'm an AB fan, so I'm not taking that. But maybe Jimmy Haslam did he buy the Guardians? No. Well, they'd have a better payroll if he bought the Guardians. Yeah. And speaking of that, Dennis in the comments says, our only hope is to eventually have an owner that loves Northeast Ohio. Now, I will say this. You can't say that about Paul Dolan. Paul Dolan does love Northeast Ohio. Paul Dolan is like a major benefactor of the city, of the Cleveland Clinic. And listen, I'm not sitting here trying to stick up for a billionaire, but he does a lot of good in the city. But you know what he doesn't do? He does not give a shit about Cleveland baseball. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about winning. He doesn't care about World Series. I had a buddy texting me this week, and we got into the Paul Dolan talk, and I always try to like back off that because I do find his approach to being a baseball owner to be bullshit, but I don't think he's a horrible person. I think he's done good things for the city and all that. So I always try to like put it in balance, but my buddy was like, yeah, but could he afford to keep up with some of these other I'm like, did you know Paul Dolan is the 5th wealthiest owner in baseball?
Yeah.
Number 5. Yeah. Number 5, Paul Dolan, the 5th wealthiest owner in baseball. He is wealthier, like a lot of these teams that he's much wealthier, significantly wealthier than Hal Steinbrenner. That's Paul Dolan. So don't give me this bullshit. Don't give me this talk that he can't afford it or he can't do. Nah, they can afford it. He just doesn't care.
I've almost gotten kicked out of every event that I've ever worked that he's ever been at because I've just had to bite my tongue. I've had to bite my tongue with him. I did. It's terrible. Sorry, I didn't mean to pivot away from the conversation, but I guess I wanted to ask you guys about this too because I'm curious. What do you make? I mean, I know Adam the Bull went a little like overreaction on here. What do you make of this whole accountability and when it comes to the front office and vote about this? Do you think this was just Clase and Ortiz acting alone? Do you think the front office, in my opinion, there's no way that the front office had like just no inkling, right? There's no way that vote just had no inkling. I feel like they knew something was coming down. There's no other reason that vote would have pitched Clase 3 nights in a row, 4 nights in a row, something like that he did in the Royal Series. Like, what do you make of that?
I mean, they probably knew it was coming, but like, I don't think they necessarily knew in the moment. Or like I wouldn't expect them to know. I mean, like that's, your pitcher throws a bad pitch. Maybe he's got some command issues. Like, I mean, unless the pitcher's actively telling you, you might not get that. I wouldn't necessarily hold them accountable. I also wouldn't necessarily like paint the players in a bad light as well, because you don't know like the nature of why they bet or aided in betting on a certain game. Might not be to get your best friend some money. Could be something more malicious than that. So like,
right.
There's layers of complexity to this. And so, I would like to think that like Stephen Vogt and Chris Cincinnati and all the bench coaches weren't like, oh yeah, just go ahead and bet on these games. Like they're not doing that. They're not trying to like hide it. I think like maybe when they learn about this, they probably didn't hear it from the players. They probably heard it from somebody higher up outside the organization. It was like, okay, we have to figure out a game plan of how to handle this. We have about this much time till this news drops. We're going to get your usage as much as we can now because we're not going to have you. So we'll save some health and stamina in the bullpen. Like it just kind of is what it is. I don't think you can hold the managers accountable for not knowing about this.
But I need you to. I do. I got yelled at on this on Twitter, but I think sometimes online you don't come across right. And maybe my point sucks anyways, but I need you to put this in a vacuum for a minute. I need you to put this in a vacuum, this situation in a vacuum. And then imagine this situation happened on the Cleveland Browns. How are we acting about who should get fired, who shouldn't get fired? How are we acting? Or maybe not you. Maybe not you,
the coaching
Joe.
staff.
Maybe not you, Joe. But how are people acting? How would people act?
I mean, I think that they'd be enraged at the player and like think they're probably a piece of shit for doing it.
I think
but like,
everybody.
I don't think you're
I think
not going
everybody
at Kevin Stefanski for that.
100%. 100%.
How? Why?
100%. I think they'd be going. I think you'd be getting calls for Stefanski to get fired. I think you'd be getting calls for Andrew Berry to get fired. I think you'd be getting calls for everybody to get fired. And listen, I know
Stefanski getting fired when the sun doesn't set before 11 p.m. Like it's just gonna happen.
Are we in Alaska?
What the hell? Yeah, when did that happen? I listen. I know the Browns have this track record of misery for 25 years, and that's not lost on me. But I do think sometimes it's fair to say, okay, but let's take one situation at a time and analyze one situation at a time. And I think there should be accountability on the coaching staff. I don't think it means somebody needs to get fired. But listen, here's where that comes from, Joe. If a sports betting site can sit there and watch the results of these plays and go, whoa, there's like a major discrepancy on what's happening out there, and that's a major red flag, then the Cleveland Guardians video team, who is under the coaching staff, should also be flagging that. They should also see that. Yeah. And they should be going, whoa, what the hell's going on right there? What's happening right there? Why are we doing that?
Sure.
And they should handle that in-house before it gets to another situation. So should there be accountability? Again, I don't know that means people need to get
but
fired.
how do you even, I mean, that's such a rabbit hole there, Mike. Like, how do you even structure that? Where you just like, you're calling a meeting every time you throw a pitch in the dirt?
No, but you look at attendances and numbers over time. I mean, that's what baseball did.
Yeah,
it's more than a half a season of this whole thing looks really weird all of a sudden. And we don't even know how far back this is going. But like, I think it's very fair to say, and especially if we're all going to acknowledge that the new sports betting world is going to have probably more things come out because these companies are watching for this stuff, then, and maybe we give them a little grace this first time or whatever, but like teams need to be doing the same thing then. They need to be watching these trends too, going, hey, if we see this, then we need to fix it, because if it gets to them, then it's going to be a problem for the organization. So this does need to be under the coaching staff, under the video staff, and even under the player personnel. They need to be watching this. And maybe right now it's just a lesson for the Cleveland Guardians. But in future years, man, there's accountability that has to go with this, because if that sports gambling site can spot this, you need to be able to.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're going to work in conjunction with the betting sites, right? Like, I don't think this is just like a team thing and then a gambling site thing, right? Because it's unusual betting patterns, right? That is causing this. I don't think it's so much the pitching, right? Because it's the betting that's coming out. Then all of a sudden you see, oh, here's the waste pitches. By the way, Edwin Diaz has more waste pitches on his first pitch than Emmanuel Clase has this year.
Ring him up.
So, I was going to say, are people going to is Edwin Diaz all of a sudden going to be put on leave? No, I don't think so, because he's on the Mets. But I think they need to work in conjunction with these betting sites. And if they can work together, maybe they can nip this in the butt, and people, and then you'll see this start to decline. So,
listen,
I think, there should be some type of set disciplinary like structure for this, because like this is not the last time it's going to happen. It's only going to get easier. There's always a friend of a friend of a friend could place a bet on something, and like, you know, it's just the accessibility, regardless of this has always been happening. It's never been more accessible than it is today to place these bets, and so there has to be some type of disciplinary structure. I agree, that's a really good point, Chad, and that's kind of the missing piece in this. Is like, the teams have all this pitch data, they could see these trends, but they don't have the betting trends on it. And so there should be some partnership for just the sanctity of the game, because this is going to happen way more than what's happening with the Guardians right now. And it's just, you have to have some measures in place.
But hey, listen, it's a negative situation, but again, the Cleveland Guardians, and Gregory said this, and we'll answer your question here, Gregory, and then we're going to get off the Guardians. How long is Stephen Vogt's leash? The team was struggling before this was released. Well, the team wasn't struggling. The team has been on fire, has been on an absolute tear until they went to that series in Kansas City that, to be honest with you, they should have won. That series in Kansas City, I don't do this a lot. You know I don't do this a lot. But that umpire lost the game for the Cleveland Guardians right before Emmanuel Clase lost the game for the Cleveland Guardians. Emmanuel Clase struck out 2 dudes to end that inning. And I think he struck out 2 dudes 3 times and never got one call on great pitches. And then Jonathan India walked it off. So they should have taken that series in Kansas City, but they've been on fire. But it's still, how long is Steven's leash? Guys, for me, there is no leash right now.
He's off leash.
He's the reigning manager of the year in Major League Baseball. And frankly, to me, he's kind of, we talked about Kevin Stefanski. He's on the Kevin Stefanski path right now. Had a great first year. Second year, it's kind of finding the struggles and having to deal with adversity and all that stuff. And then we'll see how he continues to bounce back. So I don't like everything he does. His usage of Kyle Manzardo makes me want to throw myself off of a bridge.
Yeah.
I do not understand why this dude isn't playing every day. I do not get it, why he has just turned into a platoon DH. It is borderline criminal what he's doing there. I think some of his decisions are awful, but I still think he's off leash. I still think he's got plenty of time to prove whether or not he's the right guy for the job. There's no leash.
Yeah. I mean, and this organization has a tendency to do that as well because they don't want to search for a new manager. I mean, how fucking terrible was Eric Wedge and Manny Acta? And they got 6-7 years apiece.
Wedgie.
I mean, that's it.
Wedgie did a thing. Wedgie did that one thing that one time.
Playoff run.
He did once. Yeah, he did. He lucked into a playoff run just like Stephen Vogt did. Yeah. So I don't know. It'd be nice to have a baseball team that doesn't luck into having a good season, but that's a completely different discussion.
We'll go there another time. All right, boys, let's get off the Guardians a little bit. Again, end with an optimistic note, though. They're still just a couple games out of a playoff spot. They still have an easy schedule the rest of the year. So
a lot of games to be won.
And we can't be hypocrites. If we would have been fine with them trading Clase and we'd have been cool with Hunter Gaddis and Cade Smith and them in the back end of the bullpen, that's where we're at. We just didn't get anything. But that's where we're at. So
would have liked a return on that.
There we are.
That would have been nice.
Hey, maybe the return is that you get Cade and Hunter really comfortable in that back end of the bullpen, and all of a sudden you got a fresh Clase in September ready to go for a playoff run. You never know.
Oh man.
Never
All
know.
right. Let's break it up a little bit. We do still have Brown stuff, and I want to play that game at the end. And I've got a couple quick hitters, so let's move it here. But let's do our asshole of the week segment where we talk about somebody that's been an asshole this week.
Is it wrong? Let's say he's cleared. Sorry, last thing.
No, go ahead.
He's cleared, and he comes in to close the game September 1st. And out of spite, because a lot of people might place a bet saying he's going to throw
Just
a ball.
launch it. If I were him, I would launch the first pitch into the upper deck if he was close.
Out of spite, he just launches it, spikes it to the ground. Like,
hell,
there's a lot of gray area here. Is all I'm saying. Like, I would do that. It's really petty. It would be really funny. But yeah. Anyways, all right. Sorry. Let's go.
But I also think. But again, original point. If we go a whole month without Emmanuel Clase and Luis Ortiz could be for multiple months. Easy, Chad. Did you just drop your influencer light?
Well, it ran out of charge, so it's done for the night.
If we go multiple months without Ortiz and a full month plus without Clase and they're cleared, I'm going to be livid. I'm going to be livid.
Yeah.
Be furious.
Yeah.
That is going to be a terrible day. It'll be good, but also you can't operate that way. And again, as the fan, we're just screwed and we have to deal with it. Anyways, all right, asshole of the week. I'll kick us off for this one because it's kind of funny. I was back and forth between serious things and whatever, but I wound up going with a funny thing. It I think was my I think it was my favorite video of the week. So Savannah Bananas. Did you see this guy? He goes by Coach Rack. I don't remember what his actual
the backflip.
He goes by Coach Rack, and they had him on CNN to like promote the Savannah Bananas. And he went on because he might be the outfielder that like backflip catches in the outfield. And he went on CNN and they were like, do a backflip and then we'll have you promote the Bananas. And he did a backflip and landed square ass on his face.
Oh, no.
Like legit on his face. Like hard on his face.
You got to warm up for that.
Hard on his face. And I'm like, man, you can't be the guy that the Bananas picked to do the press tour and be like, yeah, I'll do the backflip. And then it wasn't even the closest. It wasn't even close to landing it. It was the biggest facial on a backflip you've ever seen in your life. And he just right on national TV. And then he just like sat there for a while. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. So I don't think the person's really an asshole, but like, woo! I bet he felt like an asshole. Yeah. I'm going to give him the award for felt like an asshole of the week award. That's nice. What he did. Coach
nice. Ryan. He felt an asshole. Felt like an asshole. Felt like an asshole.
Grotesque.
Right.
Yeah. Joe, who's your asshole? Right.
I think you actually tweeted about this, Mike, but I was also thinking about this week. The people that get caught up in training camp statistics. Yeah, you can go ahead and piss right off. I don't care that Joe Flacco went 6 for 8 with 2 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, or I don't care that Shadur went 8 for 8 and had 4 touchdowns and 1 halfway out. Like whatever. Like that's not like it just doesn't matter. The statistics don't matter. The play does, but the statistics don't. Just let it go.
Why don't we learn this?
It's July. It's July.
It's July. We do it in spring training every year, and they're like, "Uh-oh, Shane Bieber gave up 4 runs today. Uh-oh, and you're like,
"Yeah, because he's trying to
because
cover.
he was working on his fastball on the outside part of the plate, and that's all he threw. Like, what are you talking? That's what training is, you idiots. It doesn't matter what these guys do.
Yeah,
it does not matter what these guys do. I actually proposed this to Jack Duffin here with the OBR, and we'll see. I don't know if I sent him the message, actually. I want to, though. But I want somebody to run an analysis on, like, how often are training camp all-stars actually good during the regular season? It's never. Yeah. Relax. I agree with you, Chet. Or I agree with you, Joe. That.
Say what? It's not what the coaches are looking at. They're not looking at those numbers.
Complete assholery. MC Lawrence just chucked out perennial asshole of the week. Art Modell.
Yeah.
Rest in hell. Art
Modell. We should have like a whiteboard. One of us should have like a whiteboard of like permanent assholes of the week. Like just so everybody can just
this is my asshole board.
This is the asshole board.
Bryson DeChambeau.
Right.
I don't know, man. He's oof.
He bounces back and forth, man.
What a redemption tour. It's a Mike Tyson-like redemption tour out of Bryson DeChambeau.
It is quite redemption-y. Still a little icky for me. Still a little icky. He has moments, though.
Yeah. Certainly. Chad, who's your asshole of the week?
Joe Table, strictly for Game 7 of 97. I guess I got 2. One real quick one. The Cleveland Browns for just complete lack of self-awareness. Just when they revealed that new helmet, and it was clearly a famous YouTuber just falling off of the deck, which it was just. I mean, I guess it was the Browns trying to like are they trying to be in on the joke, but it just wasn't funny. Like it wasn't funny at all. And then my other one is people who hated Happy Gilmore 2, and the reason why. Like I'm not saying you had to love Happy Gilmore 2. I'm not saying you couldn't not like Happy Gilmore 2. But let's keep it in perspective here, right? Let's keep it into context here. How many times has there been a classic movie that you loved, the original? How many times has the sequel been better than the original or just as good? It just
so rare.
It never happens. It never happens. So if you were going into Happy Gilmore 2 with those type of expectations, you were going into it completely wrong anyway. But to say it's like the worst movie ever, no, because some movies are also just made to strictly entertain you. Nothing like there's some movies are just made to not have any like deep character analysis, right? So not huge plot points and huge twists. No, some movies are just made strictly for entertainment, and that's exactly what Happy Gilmore 2 was. It was not perfect. It was a great straight to streaming movie, which is straight to DVD now. their version is today's version is straight to DVD. It was a perfect straight to streaming movie, very nostalgic, and I liked it. So lighten up, you sour pusses. Okay, lighten up.
It's okay sometimes for movies to just be stupid and fun, and they don't have to be the best movie you've ever seen.
Right.
Frankly, those are some of my favorites.
Yeah. I enjoyed Wild Hogs. Is that going to win an Oscar? No, it's not going to win an Oscar, but it's a fun, stupid ass movie.
It was a fun, stupid movie.
Yeah. Wild Hogs was solid.
Yeah.
You did bring up, and I'm glad you clarified. So you called the Browns out because of that stunt they pulled with that guy falling in the water, which, by the way, so stupid.
Yeah.
So stupid.
Yeah.
Like everybody,
I had no idea it was Ross Smith and his grandma until I actually saw like the POV, like the close-up version of it. Then I was like, oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Somebody got in a room and was like, this will be hilarious. It wasn't. That wasn't funny at all. It was dumb, and everybody knew that it was scripted and planned. I thought you were going to go a different direction than we were going to fight, but I've got one secondary asshole of the week. And I probably should have made this my real asshole of the week because this is the one I'm most worked up about. When they designed and released the new helmet, which I don't give a shit about. I liked it once I saw it with the uniform. I was like, oh, that's actually pretty sweet. But I don't care. The amount of people who think that everybody that works for the Cleveland Browns works in player personnel decisions and coaching. I'm surrounded in reference to Spaceballs. I'm surrounded by assholes. That's how I feel sometimes. The whole world, the whole Cleveland world just erupted online with like, oh, are the Browns dense? What are they doing? Hey, who cares about a helmet? Why are we worried about a helmet? Of course it's the Browns worried about a helmet and not putting a winning football team on the field. Hey, idiots. There are hundreds of people that work for the Cleveland Browns. Some of them work in ticket sales. Some of them are custodians and maintenance. Some of them work in marketing, and they do things like, hey, let's make a new helmet. That'll be cool. Some of them work in merchandise. Some of them work in food services. Some of them work in, I don't know what else. I don't know what else. A million other things. They all still have jobs to do. Some of them run social media pages. They all still have jobs to do. The way people talk is like they expect, hey, the Browns, do you guys know the Browns were 3-14 last year? Quit doing your jobs until the Browns win minimum 10 games. Don't do anything until the Browns win 10 games. Do not, I swear to God, if you show up to work, you're fired until the Browns win 10 games. What are we doing here? What are we doing? What are we going to yell at Sharon for coming up with the new cool hoodie that they're going to sell at the team shop and be like, what the hell is that, Sharon? The team sucks. What are we doing?
What's she going to do? Sign Aaron Rodgers?
They all work. They all have jobs within the Browns that they get paid money for, that they have to then take that money and go pay their bills. So they have to do their jobs. What do we do? Shut up. Shut up. Quit being stupid.
I will say this. Their jobs are a lot harder when the team doesn't win. And this is not just the Browns, it's every team.
That has nothing to do with the conversation. Of course their jobs are harder when the team doesn't win, but still, they still have to do their jobs.
But when it comes to fans, Mike, it's directly correlated. As nonsensical as that is, but attendance goes way down when a team doesn't win, right?
Obviously.
Merchandise sales go down when a team doesn't win. So I get what you're saying, but at the same time, it's also their jobs are also directly correlated to how the fans feel about the team.
No, wow, that's a totally different conversation. I'm just saying the fans need to chill out and realize that people have jobs.
All right.
That's a different conversation. All right. Speaking of the Browns, But we're gonna turn the Browns into a quick hitter. So let's just get through this real quick. We've got a couple other quick hitters, and then we're gonna play a little game. Training camp, we're in full effect. Training camp in full effect. And the word of training camp so far for the Cleveland Browns has been injuries. They have hit hard and they have hit fast. And it started, the big one until today. The big one until today was Kenny Pickett, who is going to miss. Well, you could shrug or whatever, but we're in this quarterback situation that we do not know how it is going to play out. And Kenny Pickett is out with a hamstring injury, and we don't know what the return looks like for Kenny Pickett.
So tricky. That's a tricky injury.
Well, and well, it's really interesting. I'm interested to see how this plays out because, man, all we got were reports about how good Kenny Pickett was looking in camp. And again, it's camp, but still, I think he was like impressing in camp. He has the injury. And so now what are they going to do with Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco and Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders? Like, what's the plan? What are they going to do? Because you are not going to carry. I know Andrew Berry said, well, we could carry 4 into the regular season. No, you are not. You are not going to waste a roster spot on a 4th quarterback in the regular season. No, you are not. We know you're not that dumb. Don't act like we're that dumb. So nobody knew where they were going to go. The Kenny Pickett injury seems to really clear things up, unless it's a very short-term thing. If it's very short-term, we're back to what the hell are they going to do? But if this is an injury that's going to linger and linger and linger, that there's your answer right there. You're going in with Flacco and Gabriel and Sanders, and that's your quarterback room, right? Like that. This is where we're at on that.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cut and dry. Hamstrings they're like high ankle sprains of injuries. It's like you can heal it, but all it takes is just one wrong move to set you right back to day one on that injury.
Yep.
And you almost rather break a bone or something because at least that heals.
Yeah.
Hamstrings, they don't always heal right.
Chad, I want to ask you this question, and I want your gut answer to this question.
Okay.
Assuming everybody was healthy, what'd you think was going to be the end result of training camp when it came to the quarterback room?
Assuming everybody was healthy, I didn't have like a single quarterback in mind, but I thought it was either going to be Kenny Pickett or Dylan Gabriel. Just because I don't think you get anything out of playing Joe Flacco this year. I know everybody's going nuts over that because everybody wanted Flacco back last year because, look what he did in 6 games. In 6 games in what 2023 or 20 whatever. But Joe Flacco
24.
gives you whatever. Joe gives you, who cares? It's the fucking Browns. Joe gives you.
No, it was 23. You're right.
Joe gives you no glimpse into what the future of this organization is like because this is most likely Joe's last year.
Right.
And the reason why I say Dylan Gabriel over Shedeur Sanders is Dylan Gabriel is, yes, I know he's an older rookie, but he's a savvy vet. He's had a lot of experience, right? He's had a lot of experience in big-time college games. And so far, from everything I've read, he's looked pretty good in camp. So I feel like it was somewhere in between that, right? And I think Kenny Pickett, all the reports you hear, everything that you heard was Kenny Pickett was a guy who can really fit this offense, who can really run this offense really well, right? Everybody was, don't sleep on Kenny Pickett. Aditi, I think, said that. Don't sleep on Kenny Pickett. Maybe he can have a Sam Darnold year. So, yeah, that's where I kind of thought it was going to end up. But I also, at the same time, I just kind of thought, this whole quarterback situation was going to sort itself out anyway. And I with Kenny's injury, I think that's just one step closer to it. I would almost rather play the rookies anyway, from the start. From the start, if this is a no pressure season, it's for Kevin Stefanski. If this is a no pressure season, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you figure out what you have at the quarterback position? Because that's the number one priority for this year. That's the number one priority. Is to figure it out. Screw the record. Throw the record out the window. Whatever it is. If you win games, if the defense wins you games, fine. But you have to know what you have in Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders coming out of this year. That's it. That is it. So
Totally agree.
so that was the long answer. Short answer, I thought it was either going to be Kenny Pickett or Dylan Gabriel as my gut.
Yeah, I thought Flacco would be out of that equation if there were 4 going into the season. It's just there's no upside of future potential with it. Obviously, he's a great veteran presence and like it's going to get you some really good games, but like this is a discovery season for the quarterback position, and like you have to go into it with that mindset. And I don't think you would have signed Kenny as much as you did for if you were just going to cut him. I don't think you would have drafted both quarterbacks if you were just going to cut them. I think that Joe Flacco is kind of the casualty in the situation, and I think once Kenny Pickett's back, he's probably the odd man out.
Yeah, it's going to depend on this injury, but I will tell you this. I think if Joe Flacco gets through this camp and they're like, yeah, we're keeping Joe Flacco, we're rostering Joe Flacco, he's your starter. I don't love that. It's not my favorite. I've said it a million times. I'm with you, Chad. I want to figure out what we got to do. We got 2 first-round picks next year. I want to figure out what we're doing with those this year. That's the way we've set ourselves up. You might hate it, but that's where we're at. But I do not think you're backing. Joe Flacco ain't going to be a backup. I think he's already kind of said that. He's not here to be a backup, and he certainly isn't here to be a backup to a rookie. And so I think, if Kenny Pickett's injury is going to linger, then it's going to be an issue. Then I think you're going to see Joe Flacco. I think that's the big if. It's like it all revolves around Flacco. If Flacco is going to be rostered at the end of training camp, if he's still with the team at the end of training camp, I think he's your starter. I think that's just what's going to happen. Because there's no reason for him to be here other than that then. I don't even want him as a backup. I don't want him here as a backup.
Yeah.
If he's going to be here, he's playing. And I think maybe part of the thought process was, yeah, but some team is going to need a quarterback, which already there are going to be teams looking for quarterbacks that we can maybe get a 4th, 5th round pick for Joe Flacco, and that'd be great. But if he's here at the end, he's starting. Other than that, though, to me, it's either Flacco or Kenny Pickett. That's the odd man out. Again, like you just said, Joe, they're not going to cut a rookie they just drafted. And I got people being like, well, Shadur can just go to the practice squad. That's not how it works.
No.
What are
He's
you
going to get picked up
talking
by
about?
another team.
Right. They are not going to expose that guy by putting him out there at the practice. Like, hey, we're going to sneak him to the practice squad. No, you're not. So Shadur and Dylan Gabriel, unless somebody maybe somebody comes in and trades for Dylan Gabriel. I have no idea, but I'm with you guys still. I want to know going into next year what they have to do at quarterback. And that means you got to figure out if these rookies can play. Speaking of the rookies, by the way, every day I become, and again, this is not me saying I think he's going to be a great quarterback, but every day I become more of a Shadur Sanders fan. Yeah. Every day.
He's making himself so easy to root for. So easy to root for.
He's done everything better than right.
Right.
Like we've had these other guys come in here that were like, we've got questions about character. We've got questions about this. And they're like, oh, but he did that right. And he did that right. But kind of weird over here. Shadur hasn't been weird about anything. No. This dude is, and again, maybe some of it is just for publicity because everybody says that. Maybe he's got a plan, but he's executing that plan. And it's the perfect plan right now. He is making Cleveland fall in love with him.
Right.
Even it was today. That interview. I know you saw it too, Chad. Deion Sanders did an interview with Michael Irvin where he told a story that he was going to go see his kids at training camp, and Shadur Sanders said, nah, Dad, stay away.
Yeah.
I'm not there yet. I don't want you to come see me until I'm all the way there. He's like, I'm not getting reps because I haven't earned them yet. He goes, but we're going to get preseason coming soon. And he goes, that's where I plan on really earning my time. Dude, that's just that's a private conversation with his dad. That's not even like, and then his dad tells the story. Like, dude, he's got the mindset. He is just doing everything exactly right. I don't know, whoever his PR person, he hired opposite of Deshaun Watson's PR person. It is a perfect strategy so far, and he's making everybody fall in love with him. Again, none of it's going to matter if he sucks on the football field, but he's doing the right things, man. I got to give him a shout out. He's doing the right things.
If you're from Cleveland, how do you not love that? Right? Just a lunch pail type of guy coming into work. That's the type of person, type of attitude, type of work ethic that Cleveland just wraps their arms around and hugs him tight. Right? How could you, let's just come here, dude? Yeah, let's go. Get out on the field. So yeah, he's it's gotten to the point for me where I hope he gets a shot. I hope he gets a shot one day to be this team's quarterback of the future.
It's so refreshing too, not to go back to Baker for everything, but like Baker was always the chip on the shoulder guy. And I think that wore a lot of people out. That wore me out a lot. I always got, people always doubt me. Shadur's not like everyone's doubting me kind of guy. He's like, I'm just going to put in the work.
Yeah.
Do well, which is exactly what we want to. And that was like one of the biggest questions, I think, going into his tenure with the Browns is like, is he going to be that guy that's like bitching about reps or just saying like the world's against me? Like, no, he's had like an incredible mindset throughout this process, throughout being the third and fourth string on this squad. And like, if he earns a starting role at any point in the season, like that's going to be an incredible moment because he has worked, like you can see there's tangible evidence. He has worked hard to get to that spot.
Right.
And it's not out of being a diva or being, malicious or petty. It's just like hard work and earning it. Like that should like make every Cleveland fan excited for Shadur Sanders.
Yes.
Yeah. Just quickly elsewhere offensively, there has been some positives. Harold Fannin is wildly impressive in camp. Everybody just can't stop raving about Harold Fannin, and it really does appear, per the reps that we're seeing at camp, that the Browns are very. The Browns what?
Mike's gonna reach on him in the fantasy draft. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Fifth, fourth round, Harold Fannin.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, first round, baby. First round.
Go ahead.
But it does look like they are planning on the kind of their base package involving Harold Fannin and David Njoku, and I think that is a spectacular situation for the Cleveland Browns. Luke Floria continuing to impress. I think this kid's going to make the team. I don't know. It's always a long shot, but man, this kid is impressive at camp. I've heard a lot of things about Jamari Thrash so far, which would be a lovely situation if he turned into a thing. Cedric Tillman hurt again. He came back. He got hurt and then he came back. But man, Cedric Tillman's got to find a way to stay on the field. But the other big news is defensively, there have been more hits taken. One of them is a tough one just because you lose a player. The other one's a tough one because it's an injury. One, Jordan Hicks just out of the blue retires. Yeah. And that we're talking about a linebacker room that already does not have JOK and I really hope we get JOK back at some point, but man, I don't know. Certainly not this year. And now Jordan Hicks gone. It's like, the linebacker room is thin as hell.
Carson Schlesinger, time to step up, pal.
And well, he's been the other name of camp, though. Everybody's like, he is wild to watch. Yeah. But then also today, the big news of the day today out of camp, MJ Emerson has an Achilles injury and had to be carted off the field, couldn't put weight on it. And everybody is waiting the official word, but I know Mary Kay is reporting that it is one of the bad Achilles injuries. And so we probably just lost MJ Emerson for the season. And that cornerback room, so you're going to have Denzel Ward, who is one of the best in football. You got to have Greg Newsome on a prove-it year. And then you're going to have to figure it out in that cornerback room, a room that you normally kind of rely on as a strength. One guy goes down like MJ Emerson, and you go, oh, my God, that is not enough depth at that room. So the defense on the training camp report side of things, the defensive line has been vicious from everybody's reports. Mason Graham looks awesome.
Looks amazing.
Obviously, Miles and Alex Wright is back, and he looks great. And Isaiah McGuire looks good. So the defensive line, I don't think anybody has to worry about, but the linebackers and the cornerbacks, again, you don't have to worry about Denzel Ward, but all of a sudden this defense is taking some hits.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, obviously, you're going to have to sign some guys. Obviously, you're going to have to rely on guys like Cam Mitchell to step up. Guys like, who's the guy I'm thinking of from South Dakota or North Dakota?
Which Dakota is it, Chad? How am I supposed to know?
Oh God, who is that guy? South Dakota State, North Dakota. His name is escaping me right now, but he was a good 6th round pick. A lot of people were talking about him. Also, just jumping back to the offensive side quickly, I think, at least I think Deontay Johnson's quietly had a nice little camp for himself.
He's impressed.
Yeah, he's impressed also. But getting back to the defensive side, I wish I could remember his name. But yeah, so you're going to have to rely on the depth of your young guys. I mean, unless you find some defensive back,
Miles Harden,
that's it. Yeah. Unless you find some defensive back at cut time, out of camp here, it's going to be time for those young guys to see what they can do in a starting role. Especially since Martin Emerson's going to be out for a long time. You're going to have to figure out a starter on that right side. I think Cam Mitchell will probably get the first crack at it. But yeah.
It sucks. It sucks. The injury thing sucks, especially when you lose a kid. Again, go to the personal element for a minute. You lose a kid like MJ Emerson, who is on a contract year, having to prove it. And boom, year's gone. And that sucks for that kid, man.
Yeah.
He maybe didn't have the best year of all time last year, but he's a hard-nosed kid. He plays the game the right way. It's easy to root for him, and to see him go down stinks. So, yeah, listen, a lot of news coming out of Browns training camp, but the injury bug is the big one. Again, this Kenny Pickett thing, depending on how long he's out, could provide some clarity, but you just know that as every week goes by, there's going to be more big news that happens, and we are getting real close here to preseason football, which means we're also getting really close. We're just like a month plus away from regular season NFL football. So, all right, couple other really quick hitters, and then we're playing a game. One, boys, did you see the story about Bryce Harper, going back to baseball for a minute, getting in Rob Manfred's face and telling him that he's not welcome near the locker room if he's going to bring up anything about a salary cap in Major League Baseball? Did you see this story?
Did you see it, Joe?
Pieces.
Yeah.
Pieces.
Hey, real quick. I'm a big Bryce Harper fan, but also at this time, just like I would say to either one of you, shut up, Bryce.
Yeah.
Shut up. The whole world wants a salary cap in baseball. Literally, there are 2 groups of people that do not want a salary cap in baseball. Do we know who those people are?
The rich players, the top tier players.
The best of the best players do not want a salary cap in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And then who else?
The owners.
Not just the owners. You got to be specific.
The owners who are cheap.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Paul Dolans.
Right.
He does not want a salary cap.
The Bob Nuttings.
Why do they not want a salary cap?
Because that means, well, go ahead, Joe.
You need a floor.
They need a floor.
You got a cap, you need a floor. They don't want a floor.
Cap is going to come with a floor, and that means if they implement a salary cap, that means the Cleveland Guardians payroll is going to have to go up. It has to. No more, hey, we can't afford to pay. We can afford McDonald's while you guys are eating at, I don't know, the Marble Room. Nah. No more of that. We're leveling the playing field. Guys, it feels like there's actually momentum on this. It feels like, so here's a good question. Is it worth a work stoppage to you guys? Is it worth a strike to you guys? If there was a baseball strike in a couple of years or next year, whatever it is, where they have to go to collective
which there will
bargaining.
be. If this stays on the docket, there will be.
Yep. If there's a strike, but at the end of that strike, there's a salary cap and a salary floor in baseball. Is it worth it?
100%.
Yes.
Hell yes.
100%.
Yes, it is.
Strike away,
Yes.
baby.
I'll
miss a whole season.
Yep.
Yeah,
fine.
I'll make that bet.
Yeah.
It will be so much better for the game of baseball.
Yeah. The competitive balance shifting.
Yeah.
Oh,
And you just can't. We've talked about this a million times, so I don't want to rehash a million things, but I keep seeing people being like, yeah, but the parity in baseball is they've had like 17 different champions in 20 years or whatever it is, or I don't know what the actual number is or what the actual stat
The
is, but
floor
like
is all we care about.
they all make
Yeah, that's
it.
it.
They all are paying. Somebody brought up to me, well, look at the Washington Nationals in 2019. I said, do you know what their payroll ranked in 2019? And they were like, no. I go, yeah, it was 5. It was 5. 5th in baseball was their payroll when they won.
After that, they cleared house.
Yeah, they
Right,
did. They were at,
right.
Hey,
Was
listen,
it
we
was
won
the
it.
Royals. Royals were the only team under the 50th percentile spending, right? That won the World
Yeah,
Series.
they were 17. They were 17. So they were like right at the halfway mark. Again, the only team, and I know I've said it a billion times, the only team that was like really a below average spender that has won the World Series since the year 2000 was the 2003 Florida Marlins. And they wound up doing the same damn thing. They won their World Series and they cleaned house. That's what the Marlins do. They won in 97 and they cleared house. And then they won in 2003 and they cleared house.
Right.
They were the team that got lucky. The Guardians almost did it. Cleveland Guardians, even though that year, everybody brings up the Guardians in 2016. They were in the teens in payroll that year.
Right.
They were fine. And shit, then they went and spent, they were 13th in the league in payroll in 2017. Imagine that for the Cleveland Guardians. Imagine that.
Won 102 games. Crazy. It's crazy.
But they didn't win a World Series, so now they use that as an excuse to be like, see, this is why we don't do this.
Yeah, it made them go.
Listen, I just can't. To act like this disparity isn't going to keep getting bigger. Again, what we have now started to see is the teams that won't spend. Again, you've got the Guardians that are just good at developing players, but there's no shot they're going to win a World Series. Like, that's not happening. Because what you're starting to see now is because there's no cap, there are teams now that are starting to separate from the other rich teams. You've got like the Dodgers, you've got the Yankees complaining about the way the Dodgers spend money. Imagine that. Imagine that sentence. Yeah. But that's what's happening. It's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. This salary cap, 100%. Go ahead, strike, work stoppage. I'm happy to miss a whole year of baseball. I won't be happy to miss it. I will miss it.
Right.
But like, let's get that salary cap in place, and I will be grateful that happened.
That just means we'll get season tickets to the Crushers.
Hell yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go. All right, last quick hitter. I was on the fence of where I was going to put this in this show, but we got to pay a little respect real quick to an icon.
Oh, yeah.
Hulk Hogan.
Let's go.
Passed away, man.
Yeah.
Could have been, for a lot of reasons, thrown into the asshole of the week category. Could have been, for a lot of reasons, thrown into the cheers of the week category.
Sure.
We're going to throw him right here. And I will just say this. This is my little piece for Hulk Hogan. I can't believe Hulk Hogan is dead.
Right.
As a kid that grew up, when I grew up, I cannot believe that Hulk Hogan is dead.
Right.
That guy was never going to die.
Right.
And two, I don't think there's any human being on the planet in any industry that meant more to a single industry than Hulk Hogan did to professional wrestling. That his impact on he is the reason when he came up, it was a regional business. And Hulk Hogan is the single biggest reason that it is now a worldwide entertainment situation. So shout out to Hulk Hogan, a life of ups and downs, like a lot of people. But when it comes to what he did, when it comes to like professional wrestling, the ultimate icon. They called him the immortal Hulk Hogan. And that nickname is going to stand the test of time because he's always going to be immortal in that pro wrestling world.
I mean, I feel cheated because Ric Flair seems to be the immortal one.
Somewhere tonight, Ric Flair just shit his pants in the bar.
Yeah, just hearing this. I mean, I don't have a lot to add to that. I mean, I spent my childhood mimicking everything that Hulk Hogan said, everything, all of Hulk Hogan's moves. I had his wrestling buddy.
I have it in the other room.
Yeah, I had his wrestling buddy. I had the Ultimate Warriors wrestling buddy, and they would wrestle each other. You know, I would give him leg drops off the arm of my couch. Right. I mean, from a professional wrestling standpoint, I mean, there's no one. There's absolutely no one you can compare him to. In terms of what they did for the business of professional wrestling, So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys. There's a lot of people out there. I mean, you could kind of make the same argument for Ozzy, but heavy metal is not anywhere near the global brand that professional wrestling is now. But
Now.
but it is. Yeah, there will never be another Hulk Hogan, ever.
Yeah. When you can say Hulk Hogan's name and everybody knows exactly who he is,
yeah,
and exactly everything about him, and they maybe never watched one professional wrestling match ever,
right?
That's what he is,
right?
So I just wanted to throw him into this because he did pass away this week. So
sure.
All right, boys, before we get out of here, we're gonna do something. We're gonna do a little fun thing real quickly, but it's been a scandalous week in Cleveland sports.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a scandalous week.
Oh yeah.
In Cleveland sports, and it got Chad thinking, so he sent me a text and I said, yeah, we should do this. We're going to finish this. We're going to do a quick draft. We're going to finish with a draft, and we're going to do our favorite sports scandals of all time favorite sports scandals, where we're going to draft.
Favorite's a weird word to choose with the sports scandal, because there's some pretty bad stuff in there, but hey.
Yeah, well maybe it's your favorite, maybe if it's your favorite really bad one.
Yeah.
Or maybe not.
How about that?
Maybe it's
All
not
right.
your favorite really bad one.
Okay.
I don't know what it is, but that's what we're doing. So here's the way it's going to go. We're doing a draft. We're going to run through how much material you got. You got material for
Let's do 3.
Let's do 3 because we're already late.
Okay.
Let's do 3 rounds. And it's going to be Joe, Chad, me is the order.
Okay.
Can
All right.
I list my honorable mention now? No, wait.
No,
Wait.
So
wait.
I will call it out though. If you pick this honorable mention as a draft pick, I will call this out because it. We'll get to it. You'll see.
Scottsdale, Arizona Browns dude
loves this freak.
Let's go.
I'm so glad you said Scott.
Dude.
Hold on, wait. Can I take a timeout real quick? In the comments, Scottsdale, Arizona Browns dude says, I love this freaking show. Do you have any idea how long it took me to realize that didn't say like Scott and Dale's Browns dude?
Oh, God.
Scott the Lanes.
I was like, I don't know whether his name is Scott or Dale. No,
Yeah.
Scottsdale, Arizona's Browns dude. Nailed it. Shout out to you, though. Love this freaking show. We love you back. All right, Joe, the sports scandals draft. 3 rounds. You've got the 1-1 pick. What's the pick?
Man, the 1-1 just it's just a heartbreaking
Joe.
scandal.
Don't do it, Joe.
Uh-oh, what's he going to do?
I don't know.
Give me Lance Armstrong.
Oh, okay. All right.
Give me Lance. I mean, just the
Lancey
live
one
strong,
ball. Lancey one ball.
The power of overcoming cancer to win the Tour de France 7 times in a row.
The Live Strong bracelets.
Oh, I had so many of those growing up, and like just an iconic hero. Like he was massive when I was in,
Yes.
What was that, like 4th or like 8th grade or something like that? And then you're just covered in bracelets, man. And then all of a sudden it's just like, oh, he tested positive for steroids, and they're gonna strip all his titles away. It's like, oh no. So that was the first taste of careful who your heroes are.
Turns out Lance was a bag of shit. Lance was a bag of shit.
I don't know. He's a bag of shit. I mean,
He kind of was.
Yeah.
It's a good 1-1 though, because I think over time maybe people, because even me, as I was like looking through some past ones, I was like, Lance Armstrong, but then I remembered what a cultural hold he had on everything. Those Livestrong bracelets were everywhere. Everybody.
It's the equivalent of having an iPhone today. Like everyone had one.
You lived to watch the Tour de France would come on, and people would be like, "Oh, I can't. I'm watching the Tour de France." Nobody watches the fucking Tour de France, but we were watching it with Lance. Yeah. That's a really. Shut up, Chad. That's a really good 1-1 pick.
Yeah, thank you.
I do think so.
Oh, he has one testicle. He is aerodynamic.
All right, Lance Armstrong is the number 1 sports scandal off the board here. Chad.
Well, obviously my 1-1, if you've ever watched this show.
Oh, yeah.
Houston Astros, baby.
Yeah.
2017 trash can scandal. For anybody who doesn't know, my father played for in the Houston Astros organization, so I've been a Houston Astros fan my entire life, along with an Indians/Guardians fan. And 2017 was I finally got a World Series championship. I finally got a World Series championship in my lifetime, and these assholes come out with their bag in a trash can as they're stealing signs. You dicks. You dicks. Just completely. But hey, listen, I still wear that 2017 Astros championship t-shirt with pride. With pride. I don't care. So that's my one.
Freaking,
I wanted that one so bad I couldn't take that from you. I knew that was going to be on there.
You know what's funny is I didn't even write that one down. Like I got a list of, and I didn't even write it down. I didn't even write that one down. I didn't write that down, but it's a worthy first rounder for sure. Banging trash cans when you get the signs. Wild.
And then Jose Altuve. Who could forget Jose Altuve? Like, no, don't take my jersey off. The mic is there.
Yeah, right.
The mic is there. Son of a bitch.
And then when you went back and watched the old videos and you just heard the trash can banging,
you're like, how could I miss that?
You're
like, how could I miss that?
It's happening all game and nobody.
Yeah.
Boom. All right, that sends it to me. I got back-to-backers, and I'm going to go with my favorite, and this is my favorite sports scandal of all time. It involves a man with the greatest name of all time, I think, Jeff Gillooly.
Yeah, there it is.
I am taking when Jeff Gillooly and Tanya Harding got together in U.S. figure skating lore, and Tanya Harding knew she could never beat America's princess, Nancy Kerrigan. Everybody loved Nancy Kerrigan. Nobody could beat her. Tanya Harding, with her little weird poofy hair, knew she couldn't beat her, and so she had Jeff Gillooly lead pipe Nancy Kerrigan's leg at an event. I don't know that there's not a lot that's going to get wilder than getting your leg lead piped in figure skating.
Yeah.
We aren't talking about UFC. We're not talking about boxing. We're not talking about football, rugby, violent sports. We're talking about figure skating. And Tanya Harding was like, I got a solution to my silver medal woes. We need to lead pipe Nancy Kerrigan's leg. I can still hear Nancy Kerrigan's voice screaming, why? Unbelievable. Just an unbelievable scandal. And it always needs to be a first round scandal, because for that to happen in figure skating, I think that was that, what year did that happen? Was that before Joey was born? Look that up. That might have been before Joey.
It was like 95.
No, I was here. It was 94.
94. Joe was born.
And that spawned some awesome skits too.
Yeah, I love that
first. I got a little ballsy. My first ever celebrity interview was Dave Coulier, Uncle Joey, from Full House. And at that time, because he came to the Steelhounds, the team I was working for, and the play-by-play voice for the hockey team, he was skating around just before. So I interviewed him as a halftime interview thing. And at that time, they did Skating with the Stars, and he was paired with Nancy Kerrigan. I asked him how the knee was. And he just glossed right over it. So I was like, okay, I'm moving on.
Cut it out. Oh.
Yeah.
All right, that's my first round pick. And then it comes right back to me, and I'm going to go with another pick that just swept the nation. Just nation swept. I'm going to go with like a 47-year-old dude pitching in the Little League World Series. Danny Almonte, baby. Give me a little Danny Almonte in the Little League World Series. Turns out this kid that he threw like 17 straight no-hitters in the Little League World Series. Nobody could touch him. Turns out he was like a proud father of 3 or whatever the hell his situation. No, he wasn't that old, but he was way older than all the other kids in the Little League World Series. And Danny Almonte, man, again, swept the nation. A horrible, horrible cheating situation. But a lot of fun to watch. It was a lot of fun to watch that significantly older person strike out all those kids.
I could throw 17 no-hitters against a little league team.
No, you couldn't.
I think I could.
No, you couldn't.
I think I could.
No, I know you can't.
Yeah, I think I could. I mean, they're not going to be able to hit the ball. I'm going to throw it so high.
Yeah, right. You didn't say perfect games. You said no hitters. You're going to walk a lot of players. Yeah,
they're not going to hit anything.
Yeah, Danny Almonte, man, that was another one that just took the nation by storm. It was everywhere. And what a great time that was to watch that. So I'm going with that one. All right, Chad, back to you.
My second one is like just I wasn't alive for, but everything I read about it, it's like the grossest, most obvious, most blatant abuse of power that I've ever seen in my life. I'm going to the 1972 Olympic basketball final. So coming into the game, America won like something like it's like 70 straight basketball games.
Yeah.
And then at that time, 72, it was right in the heart of the Cold War. And the Olympics came around, the basketball final came around, and Russia was up by like 8 with like 6 minutes to go. The U.S. came all the way back, right? And Russia was only winning by 1, but with 6 seconds to go, Doug Collins hits 2 free throws, and then the Russia takes a timeout, and then it was with 1 second to go, right? They took a timeout with 1 second to go, and then that second went by. America is celebrating. They're like, yeah, we won the gold medal. But then the Russian politicians came down and said, no, we're putting 3 seconds back on. Like, why? Just because we can.
Because we want to.
Because we want to. Oh, no. Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, a refereeing error. No. Yeah, we'll put 3 seconds back on the clock. And that's when they scored the game-winning bucket. So the game ended roughly like 2 or 3 times.
Correct.
And Russia was like, nah, we got to put more time back on the clock because we can. And then finally some Russian dude scored the game-winning basket, and then all of a sudden they win the gold. And America wouldn't go to the silver medal platform. They were like, nope, we're not doing this.
Hell no.
No, we won this fucking game.
Hell no.
72 Olympic basketball final. There it is.
That's a good one. All right, Joe, you get 2 picks here.
This is great. I had 3 left. And you guys didn't take any of them, which makes this challenging. I guess not in a particular order, but I'm going to start with one of the most controversial things in, I think, the football world. And I don't actually know if it really fucking matters. Give me Deflategate.
Okay.
Yeah.
That entire situation. One, if the league didn't have measures in place to verify the PSI of a football before a game, that's the league's problem.
Yeah, correct.
As far as I'm concerned,
100%.
Patriots or Tom Brady did nothing wrong there. Now, at the time, though, that was where the Patriots were. I mean, not just that time, but like we've already been exhausted by Tom Brady and the Patriots in what was it, 2014 or 15-ish,
right?
And cool scandal, down goes the empire. Retrospect, it didn't go down. It just kind of kept going after this whole thing. So it really didn't impact like legacy or success. And it was just a bunch of hubbub for nothing. But at the time, it was like, oh, maybe the Patriots are finally done and the Browns can, well, the Browns sucked. But like maybe the Browns can step in. And it just never really happened that way. But that was quite the spectacle, in my opinion.
Hell yeah, sure was.
And then going down the route of just absolute icons being dismantled by stupid bullshit. Give me the Tiger Woods scandal.
Tiger.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an easy one. You're the best golf player in the history of the game, the planet, and you got a little frisky, people.
I just can't help it.
Iron to the back windshield.
I remember exactly where I was when that news story broke about Elin Woods just 9-iron the back of Tiger's car in the driveway.
Oh yeah.
What an incredible way to like respond to that.
And that was it.
Yeah.
That was that. Thank you. I know Tiger got one more Masters, but like
it was the end of Tiger Woods.
Tiger was getting ready to everybody thought Tiger was going to break the records and all that. And then that was it. Game over.
Yeah.
9-iron to the back windshield and Tiger's done.
He had a whole separate house for hookers and blow. Like he was
That's
like,
tough.
no, you just got to go down the road and then make 2 lefts, and then that's the hookers and blow house. You just got to drive there.
They
Called
show
the
up at his home.
HAB house.
Yeah, they show up at his home with like 27 pizzas. It's like, oh, wrong house. Wrong
Oh,
house.
sorry. My bad. That was meant to feed the hookers. Oh, God.
All right, Chad, your last pick.
My last pick is probably not on the top of people's list, but I just find it funny. And this goes off the Lance. It's piggybacks off the Lance Armstrong thing. So after Lance Armstrong went away, Floyd Landis took the mantle.
Yes.
He was like awesome. Like, yeah, I'm your guy. He's like, I'm gonna win a couple of Tour de France's, but then oops, he was doping too.
Yeah,
He's
Look
like,
what I can do.
he's like, no, yeah, I'm nothing like Lance. Watch me do this. And then
That
he
was
gets
almost
banned for
worse
doping.
because he knew what was going to happen
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
and still did it.
Yeah. He's like, no, I'll never get caught. Wait, I'm banned for 2 years. Fuck.
For the same, you can punish me for the same thing you punished him for? What are you talking about?
Weird. I didn't think you guys would be on to me.
Wild. Yeah, Floyd. That was close. That was close on my list. I'm very, very excited to get my last pick, and I knew it was going to be a little bit of an obscure one, but I also feel like every time I think I have like a little obscure one, Chad jumps in and just takes it. And this really could have been my first round pick because I think it's one of the craziest, wildest scandals of all time. May I invite you to travel back to the year 2000 with me, and may I invite you to talk with me about the Paralympic Games in the year 2000. In which, if I can refresh your memory here, the Paralympic Games were going on and they do basketball. And the country of Spain was dominating the Paralympics in basketball. They were destroying everybody, just romping their way to the gold medal game. And it turns out that 10 of the 12 players on their team had literally no handicap to them. Literally not a single issue wrong with them. Nothing, not a problem. Just normal ass, just 10 normal Spaniards. Just 10 normal ass Spaniards having not a single condition, not a single affliction, not a single problem. 10 dudes were like, yeah, sign me the fuck up for this. We're going to go out and wreck these people. And
we're going to kick these other handicapped guys' ass.
Yeah, and they did. And they got caught.
And
you know
what's wild about something like that is that, like, there's so many people that, like, are involved in that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, unless these
1000%.
10 people were just, like, master dupers and nobody knew they didn't have any type of disability. Like, so many people had to know that they're just putting completely able-bodied people on.
They got friends and family and acquaintances that I'm sure we're seeing this like in the news and shit over in Spain that were like, "Is that Jorge from down the block?
Yeah.
Is that Jorge?
Yeah. Whoa,
we're in the sports specs. Is that Jorge? What is going on over there?
Did he have an accident?
Yeah,
I didn't know about that.
Yeah. And listen, it's not funny in terms of the fact that like. That sucks to take advantage of people that you don't need to take advantage of. But come on, this scandal is one of my all-time favorites.
That's wild.
I'm very excited to have it. All right, real quick. Joe, you had 2. You said you had a third one. What was your third one?
I want to go up my honorable mention first because this is way more important than my third one. People commonly mistake the steroid era of baseball as a scandal. And I'm glad none of you brought this up because I was about to be real mad if you did. Because it is the glory years of a league.
Oh, yeah.
And it should never be classified as a scandal.
No, the only scandal about the steroid era is that we're not recognizing how great the players were in the steroid era.
Oh, my God.
That's the scandal. That's the
Yes.
scandal.
That's the scandal. The other one I had on there was Michael Vick.
Okay. I'm glad you didn't use that one.
Well, that's why I was. That's why I was like, they're not my favorites. They're just
dog fights.
Like, yeah, that was a tough one, especially with like, man, he was such a cool like guy as a kid. Like,
oh my God,
Madden 05, dude, just absolutely unbeatable.
Cheat code.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had like a FIFA.
Yep.
The Mitchell Report. The Mitchell Report.
Yep.
DH. It's not necessarily a scandal, but I just love it for the fact that Chris Perez shipped weed to his dog.
That's a scandal. It's a good scandal. I think that's great. Ship this shit to Fido Perez.
He'd be so pissed. He's pitching in Cleveland now with like legal marijuana.
Yeah, right.
The Michigan Wolverines. I don't know, name an era, but
there you go.
We'll go with Counter Stallions.
So the three that I had that didn't get named. Now, Chad, this kind of goes with one of the ones that you picked because you did do the Olympic basketball final. But my scandal was just literally Russia in any sport ever. Like that was going to be that's my honorable mention is just straight Russia. Whether it's the Russian judge that just is going to unfairly say everybody sucks but Russians, or whether it's the doping scandal. Whether it's now the fact that in Olympic Games you can't have Russians, you just have international Olympic athletes because Russia just can't help themselves but just cheat all the time. So Russia's one. I think obviously here in Cleveland, you got to go with Art Modell moving the team.
Sure.
Dead of night, that situation, Art Modell, awful, rest in hell. And then my last one, I wanted to get a couple that were local, but I like my other ones better. But the gold pants scandal for the Buckeyes.
No,
Are you joking my ass?
Yeah, you joking my ass.
We made an all-time great Buckeyes team, a really great Buckeyes team forfeit a season because some guys sold their gold pants for money.
Yeah, and tattoos.
They belong to them. That you can sell your own shit for money.
Right.
Joe, did you miss this?
Yeah, what was this?
The Terrell Pryor years in Ohio State.
I didn't know it was because he sold pants. I knew I knew he got money for tattoos.
The gold pants, which is like a thing you get when you beat Michigan. It's like a pin you get. They're gold pants. They were selling them for money.
I didn't know that was the reason he got the money.
It's their own property. What are you talking about? They can't sell it for money. What are you talking about?
Couch. You can't sell your armoire.
It's one of the all-time. The NCAA is just the worst moments. Was when you're going to punish people for selling their own stuff. You can't do that. Shut the hell up. So that was mine. Any other quick honorable mentions before we get to our cheers of the week?
We read a book on NCAA in this category.
Yeah, nothing fun. Like nothing fun.
Okay, Jerry. Well, then let's not talk about not fun things. The recap. Joey, you had the Lance Armstrong scandal, you had Deflategate, and you had Tiger Woods and the 9-iron. Chad, you started off with the Trastros, and then you went to the 72 Olympic basketball finals. That might be the pick of the draft. And then you went to Floyd Landis at the end. And then I had Nancy Kerrigan, and more importantly, Jeff Gillooly. I had Danny Almonte and his mustache. And then I had the 2000 Spain Paralympic basketball team, which I'm so glad is on my roster. So tell us how you think we did. Get over to the socials and vote as to who you thought was the winner. Maybe we'll put it up there just because it's fun. We'll have a graphic made, and you guys can vote on it. But that's our with all the sports scandals going down in Cleveland right now, we figured today was a good day for a sports scandals draft. So that's what we did. All right, before we get out of here, it's time for our cheers of the week, where we throw out some cheers opposite of the asshole of the week. And so we'll just keep the same. Well, no, we'll go reverse. Chad, who's your cheer of the week this week?
I'm going to go Vinny Pasquantino, just for his Twitter account in general. He was just hilarious over All-Star Weekend. Like, oh, I'm Cal Raleigh. I play both sides. I get hit from both sides. He goes, I play the most valuable position. Screw you, man. Like, it was just that kind of sarcasm on Twitter. I really, really appreciate. Like, every time I want to delete Twitter, I just come across a guy like that, and it just keeps me going. So, cheers to you, Vinny Pasquantino, for being a pleasant fella.
I love it. Vinny Pasquantino. Done. Joey.
I got to cheers the Seattle Mariners for trading for your boy Josh Naylor.
Yeah, Naylor up there in your new hometown.
I am unbelievably excited about that. Like,
stealing all the bases.
I know. Yeah, get like 4 bases last night. Something crazy like that. Man, That's so exciting. I love Josh Naylor. I was so sad to see him go to Arizona, and now I get to literally go down the street and watch him. So that's very exciting for me. I was going to get a Josh Naylor jersey, but he's a rental, so I don't know if he's going to be here next year.
Yeah, but just get the jersey so you have it. Just,
I should do
his jersey.
Jersey.
Yeah.
Just so you have it. So you have
I was thinking it'd be fun because you can still get the Guardians jersey. It'd be really fun to cut one in half and do a little stitch together.
Nice.
I could 1,000% see Naylor staying in Seattle because I don't think he's going to garner like a massive contract anywhere. So,
yeah.
All right, love that. Okay, I saved mine for last because I'm gonna turn it a little bit serious here, and it's something I referred to at the beginning of the show. But I do want to. I think this is worth giving the shout out to. It was I live over here in Lorain County, and it was a hard week over here in Lorain County. And even here in the city I live in, North Ridgeville, but specifically in the city of Lorain, where senseless crime.
Oh, yeah.
Ridiculous nonsense. But 3 police officers, Lorain police officers, were just randomly, they were like on their lunch break, and they were randomly ambushed by a guy who just opened fire on 3 Lorain police officers. Peter Gale, Brent Payne, and Philip Wagner. Brent Payne and Peter Gale doing okay. I saw Brent Payne was released from the hospital, so that's exciting. But a guy that lives here in North Ridgeville and a guy that was, again, a Lorain City police officer, Philip Wagner, died from his injuries from just a senseless, again, he was just sitting there eating lunch, and some guy came up and just started opening fire. For I don't know who gives a shit what the reason is. There's no good reason. I don't care whether it's a police officer or a civilian or anybody in between. There's no good reason to just go up and start shooting people. And that's what this person did. So 1 police officer in Lorain lost his life. That was Philip Wagner. And I think they're actually doing his funeral is at Rocket Arena tomorrow morning. It's like 7 something.
Yeah.
And it's going to be crazy. I'm glad the other 2 are okay, but just senseless stuff. But they laid their life on the line. Anybody that does that gets a cheer. And I don't care, politics doesn't have to come into play. That's all stupid. There were 3 men that were working in their community, serving as police officers, and a senseless tragedy here, but they deserve a cheers. So I'm going to give them a cheers and a tip of the cap and a huge thank you for their service, and a huge thank you to their family for their sacrifice and everything that they gave. They deserve a cheer. So I'm going to raise a glass to them. That's how we're going to end it, with the cheers of the week. And that is how we're going to end the show here on episode 274. It's been a long time since just the 3 of us have been in the garage. So we had about a half hour extra of catching up to do. Thank you for hanging out with us and bearing with us. We had a lot of people hang out with us all night long. And so we appreciate all the 631, well, now 630. Now it's down to 630. But we appreciate all 630 plus people that have been hanging out with us live here tonight. If you didn't catch us live again, we appreciate you for jumping on Apple, Spotify, wherever you're listening to us, or whether you're watching us later. We appreciate you. We love you, and we thank you for your support. That's going to do it for episode 274. Big thank you to the OBR. Get over to theobr.com and hit subscribe for all the best Browns coverage. The OBR is the biggest and best and largest independent Browns coverage site in all of Cleveland. So make sure you're tuned in there, and make sure you're tuned into the streaming network, as the OBR is bringing you 5 nights a week, soon to be 6 with Browns season and preseason starting, of video content that you don't want to miss. It's all here on the OBR. So make sure you're tuned into all that. And again, as I said before, a big thank you to all of you for joining us. For Joey out there in Seattle at Garage Beers, Joe, for Chad over on the east side of Cleveland at Garage Beers, Chad, I'm Michael Keefe at Garage Beers. Mike, go follow our show at The Garage Beers on all the socials, and we will see you next week for episode 275. Until then, cheers, everybody.